Hi guys, just a video to show you how to create your own CV and go over the few basics on what we need to include in there as well. As part of your course, but you're going to need to create a CV, but it's going to be useful to you anyway. I'd love for you to keep the CV after you finish the course and take it through your career as well and keep building on it and pushing through it. As we saw in the recent talks, it's all about getting into the industry, and it's one of the most difficult things you do, and hopefully once you're there you'll build your portfolio and you'll carry on from there. So, what should be included in your game design CV? Well, we're going to start off with just a basic CV, and we'll work on from there. So I'm just going to show you and go through the basics of stuff you're going to include in there. Show you how to create an actual template using Microsoft Word, because it already comes with templates as well. And in later lessons, we're going to look at tailoring those to make yours look a little bit different than other people's, and to also make sure that you're really focusing on yourself, your skills, and the relevant skills that you have that are going to be that employers are going to be looking for. So first of all, we need to talk about the basic information. It's really simple. That's just your name and your address and your contact information. And obviously that all needs to be really accurate if you want to actually get contacted by these people. You're going to need some sort of personal statement. Now, it shouldn't be too long in this particular section, because you're going to usually you'd have a covering letter, or you might have a video or sort of something else as well. It's really going to sort of explain why you're going for that job. But there wants to be something that's just a little bit snappy and a little bit eye-catching that sort of gets them thinking, actually, I want to read more about this person. I want to find out more about this person. From there, you should talk about your work experience. Now, this is probably going to be a short section for you guys right now. But some of you may have part-time jobs or done work experience at school while you've been at college or and things like that. And we can find relevant skills within that work experience that are going to be focused, around the games industry. And even if it's a job that's nothing to do with the games industry itself, there's probably skills within that work experience that you can push towards your potential employers. Education, obviously a really useful thing to talk about. It should really be, sort of a list of the things you've done, but also try and think of anything you've done outside of college or anything like that comes with some sort of accreditation that you could mention. Relevant skills. Now, this can be things that maybe weren't totally covered in education, or things you really want to highlight that came through there that are your strong points as well. You make it really clear, tailor it to you and yourself, and hopefully focus on the job that you're applying for. And hobbies and interests. This is another sort of way to set you apart and really show that you're a human being, but a really interesting human being at that. So it's really good to have your hobbies. You're applying in the games industry. I would hope that you do mention something about gaming and maybe your favourite types of game. But anything really fits in there. What you don't want to do with section 6 there, hobbies and interests, is really ramble on about loads of extracurricular things that you do that aren't going to be relevant to your employer. Because if you spend more time talking about your hobbies and interests, such as playing football or rugby or something like that, and you actually spend more time talking about that than you do about any of the other information that you've talked about beforehand, they're going to think that actually he's not that keen on the stuff that's relevant to the job. He's just really keen on playing football. So we have to be careful with that. But it does show that you're outgoing and it can be useful. So you got to get a healthy balance really. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the references. Basically, it's a couple of people that they could contact at the moment. It could be one of your teachers from college, your tutor, or it could be someone outside of college, or maybe a friend of the family, or someone who works in the game industry and who knows what you like and things like that. It's usually best if it's not a family member, but someone you've known for 2 years or more, they usually say. Really important. We'll talk about this more when you're actually making your CVs. Use a clear and simple fonts and have a really basic layout, which is really easy to follow. It doesn't mean to say it can't look really good and snazzy. That'll be again towards your sort of artistic impression. If you look on my blog, guys, which is leapgaming.wordpress.com, I think a few of you subscribed. Then on the blog, I've actually added something really useful. So if you have a look on here, I'll just zoom in. Then what we can do is, what you can do, sorry, is go to my second. It's the second link down at the moment. If I've added anything else, you'll have to scroll down and find it. But I've put real industry gaming CVs that actually worked. These are real ones on the website. I've hashtagged it Lifehacks because it was actually a Lifehacks post on Facebook that came up, which is a really good timing, I suppose. And here we are. So, I mean, there's some really, really useful information on the site, guys, and I really suggest you read all the bits that come with it. And I really suggest you have a browse around this website, really. I mean, GameIndustryCareerGuide.com, it's going to be useful to you guys, especially now in the early stages of what you're wanting to do. So, have a peruse around the site at least and see if there's any other useful information to you. But if you scroll down, and you can download a template of these guys, but I do think that the actual look and feel of them is quite plain and dull, and I think you could probably do a little bit better in terms of making it stand out visually. But the information's good, and there's actually 3 of them. There's one from a gaming student with broad taste and a diverse systems experience, so he's more of an IT-based applicant. And if you ever read of his stuff, you know he can program in C++ and things like that, so really, really useful. He's clearly been to university and things like that. Moving on. The second guy, computer geek with leadership potential. So, he doesn't really go on about his programming as much, but you do find that he's going for a bit more leadership position. You'll notice that this one, in particular, is really short. It's obviously someone early on. Okay, early on in their career, and it's no more than a page, which is what I'd prefer you to stick to, because if you're going to use 2 pages, which I would say should be a maximum, you don't want to have loads of empty space. You want it to be concise, because you don't want to put someone off from reading it from having loads of waffle in it and information you don't need. And then thirdly, this is a graphics specialist with strong 3D math chops. So again, these 3 I would say have a bit of a technical background, but you're going to tailor yours to whatever your skills and whatever the direction you wish to go in the games design industry is going to be. So basically, you can, like I say, Word comes with some templates. We're going to look at those. Don't ignore the ones on this website, because you have to sign up and it does try and charge you to save them. So it's a little bit annoying. There are websites that do let you generate them, but I do think it's a better skill to be able to actually create your own. So, if you open up Microsoft Word, now this is the Windows version. I'm hoping it's exactly the same in your versions. If not, I'll help you find it in class. What you'll need to do is you'll go to the file up there. And then after file, you'll go to new, right here, and then there's a search box. Okay, these don't come up straight away. You'll have to search for CV. You can also search for resume. Is another one you could search for. As you can see, it's in the name there. And there's 3 main examples it gives you. One does include a bit of colour, but like I say, in lessons we're gonna have a look at jazzing them up ourselves and make them stand out a little bit more. But they are good basics to start on. So what I'd like you to do, guys, is open up Microsoft Word. Find the template pick the template you wish to use, and the information it comes with. It comes with no information. You have to fill it all out. So fill it out with the basics, and then in a future lesson we'll have a look at tailoring it to you and tailoring it to a specific job role that you'd want to have.